166 is dominant hormone of pre-estrous phase of estrous cycle. The estrous cycle is a cycle which occurs in all mammals and it is a seasonal cycle. These animals are seasonal breeders. The hormone which is dominant in the pro-estrous phase is going to be. Let's look at the options. Option number 1 is FSH, option 2 is progesterone, LH and testosterone. Now testosterone is definitely out of question because it is a male sex hormone, whereas estrous cycle is a feature of females. Now we can say that the pro-estrous phase or the phase which lies before the estrous cycle is comparable to the proliferative phase of the humans. So in that case, the FSH hormone or the follicle stimulating hormone is dominant. Follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the growth of these follicles, and when the follicles are formed, they release a hormone which is called as estrogen. So estrogen is dominant during the estrous phase, whereas FSH is dominant during the pro-estrous phase. So in this case, our answer becomes option number 1, which is FSH. So answer is option number 1. Okay students, now we move on to question number 167. The question is, choose the event that occurs inside the body even in case of external fertilization. So external fertilization, we know that the gametes are released in water and fertilization takes place. The gametes are formed inside the body and released outside the body. So the event that occurs inside the body is definitely gamete formation. Although we have got the answer, but still we look at the other options. Syngamy is fertilization, fusion of gametes, which occurs outside, that is in water. Now gastrulation and embryogenesis also will not occur inside the body because the fertilization has taken place outside the body. So our answer in this case becomes option number 1, that is gamete formation. Gametogenesis is going to be an in vivo process. In vivo is in life. It is going to occur in natural environment, that is inside the body. So the answer becomes option number 1. Move on to question number 168. Colostrum is the first milk which is released after the child is born from the mother's mammary glands. Colostrum released after childbirth is rich in which type of antibodies? Now we say that mother's milk is essential for the child because it provides the child immunity through certain substances called as antibodies. These antibodies are nothing but they are certain proteins. Now the colostrum is rich in which antibody? IgG, IgM, IgA or IgE. IgG is the smallest antibody, crosses the placenta and it provides passive immunity to the developing fetus. IgM is the largest antibody, whereas IgA is the secretory antibody. IgA is present in all the secretions of the body. So mother's milk also is a secretion of mammary glands which are modified sweat glands. So the colostrum is rich in IgA. So our answer becomes option number 3, and IgE mediates mostly allergic responses. These are the type of questions that you're going to usually get from the other options which are mentioned here. Let's move to question number 169. Signals for parturition originate from. Fetal oxytocin does not play a role. The maternal oxytocin plays a role in parturition. So this option is incorrect. From placenta and fully developed fetus. This option is absolutely correct, as placenta and the fully developed fetus, they both play a role in parturition because parturition is a neuroendocrine mechanism wherein the placenta and the fully developed fetus produce signals to generate a fetal ejection reflex. This fetal ejection reflex in turn stimulates the posterior pituitary gland to release oxytocin. Now this oxytocin causes the uterine muscles to contract. When the uterine muscles contract, the expulsion of fetus will take place. So therefore this option is correct. Let's look at the other options. Decrease in estrogen to progesterone ratio. This is not the correct option because during parturition there is increase in the amount of estrogen and decrease in the amount of progesterone. The increased estrogen augments the role of oxytocin. That is, it stimulates the uterine contractions, thus assisting in parturition. Therefore, this option is also incorrect as the reverse of this option takes place. The fourth option is hormone released from pineal gland. Now, the hormone released from pineal gland is melatonin. Maintains the circadian rhythm of the body. Therefore, it has no role to play in parturition. So, we have got our correct answer as option number 2. Question number 170. Let's read the question. By the end of dash, the body is covered with fine hair, eyelids separate and eyelashes are formed. So here we are talking about embryonic development. Such questions have time and again been asked in NEET, where especially the ones which are mentioned in NCERT. That is, after 1 month formation of heart takes place. At the end of 5th month the body movements start. So over here we have to look at more events of embryogenesis. So by the end of which month it is asking. So let's see, the first trimester mainly stands for organogenesis. The first 3 months organogenesis takes place. In the very first month formation of heart takes place, whereas fine hair and separation of eyelids and eyelashes occurs during the 6th month, that is the second trimester. Such a question you can be asked in the form of months, in the form of trimester, in the form of weeks, and even in the form of days. So we have to know the events in all these denominations. Alright students, we have to pay attention to what the question is asking from us. Okay, and so our correct option, the appearance of hair, separation of eyelids and eyelashes occurs at the end of 6 months. So the answer becomes second trimester. The option 2 months will not stand correct because first month and second month are a part of the first trimester itself. Therefore, the answer to this question becomes option number 2. So you will have to clearly remember the events of embryogenesis as they're very important and have been asked a time and again in your entrance exam. Moving on to the next question.